Hi, hello, g'day, kia ora, welcome to the studio. I know I have a lot on my table. Question is where to start? Well, it's all about Dephemerember, so we know where we're at with that. So anyway, part of what I'm planning on doing for Dephemerember is including a journaling card with each piece of ephemera that I make that explains the process. So for instance, for the 2022 year, I was planning on using all those journal cards with the animals that Luise had created as my cards that I write my process on. Now, I didn't have any for 2021, so I thought, okay, I'll design my own. So I've come up with 8 different styles of postcards that I will use as my journal cards, and I've printed out enough so that they'll also, depending on what we get this year, may be used for the 2023 year or for the 4th book that I've got, being anything else that isn't sort of prompt based. So I thought I'd give you a quickly show you the 8 postcards that I've made. So there's 4 that have got text in the background. That's these first 4. And then these next 4 have got numbers in the background. And I just thought they looked really cool. And they're all blank on the other side. So that's what I'm going to use for my processes. Now, in printing out these postcards, I ended up with a whole lot of scraps of cardboard that I have put aside for use doing whatever. And I thought, okay, I haven't got like charms for the spines of my journals yet, and I love the idea of having a Dephemerember and the year charm hanging from the spine, dangling from the spine. So I initially thought these might work, and these are made out of scraps from the cards that I made for the lace and the wool fibres that I sent to Tanya as part of our swap. But when I was looking at sort of stamps, I thought Dephemerember is probably not going to fit because it's a tad bit long. Luise and Barbara, just a smidge. So because I can't use these, that means I'm then going to have to make something from scratch. So throw that aside for now. We'll use that in something else. So I've pulled out all my little letter stamps to see what would fit. And I've got these ones, and I've had them for absolute years. They're Hero Art stamps, I think, all of them. Not sure what that one is because I had to put it in a different box. But none of these sets have got the pound or the hashtag sign in it. Plus these 3 I wouldn't use because they're capital letters, so that left these 2. So they're all out. So then I went to these dinky little wee things. Now these are a couple of stamp sets that I picked up in Daiso, and they clip together so that you can spell out words of various lengths, but they clip together so that you can get the spacing right on your letters. So this brown set is slightly larger, so they are 0.6 centimetres by 0.6 centimetres, or 0.2 inches by 0.2 inches, and they come in these letters. So unfortunately, as there's only like one or two of most letters using the small ones, then I'd have to break the word up quite a bit. And so they came up as Dephemerember, which luckily they did have a hashtag sign. So I then thought, okay, well, let's try the smaller letters, because they have got more of each letter, like 3 E's for instance, which would be very helpful with Dephemerember. And so I tried this, and yes, I know the B's in the wrong position, but I wanted to make sure I had the right letter, because you've got to do everything back to front. And that I thought looked quite cool, would probably fit better, but even so is way too long for my little tag. So I'm still going to have to make bigger tags. So I'm probably going to put this brown set aside. Sorry guys. We're going to use this blue set because I can get hashtag Dephemer, and then I can do the M, and then if I switch that out, put the B in, I get ember for the rest of the word. So that for me means not too much mucking about. And then I've got the numbers, or I can use this, which is one of those rolly round number stamps, and then I don't have to worry about my spacing for my letters, or well, for my numbers I should say. So I'm probably going to use that, I think. We'll see how they look together. But that's where we're at the moment. So I'm going to use some of the scrap card, going back to it, I hope you're keeping up, and try stamping onto here, because I figure this should be long enough, surely. So now it's just a question of how wide do I need. So, and I'm probably going to do them for like 20, 21, 22 and 23 all at the same time, while I've got the stamp all out and ready to go. And so now it's just me trying to find some scraps that are roughly the same size. Right, those 3 look alright. And then we've got one extra just in case. We've probably got some more. Right. Let's try it and see what we come up with. Now I just pulled these 2 inks out mainly because they were on my desk and were easy to use, and I figured they're probably going to be a little bit easier to handle given that they're small. So I tried, that was the ground espresso, so I should try just to see what it's like, the hickory smoke, and then we can decide which one we want. So we're just going to tap across here, and I did discover that the H put it up the right way for me, does need to cooperate a little bit. So now hopefully you can see this. I may need to bring you in closer. Right, so putting that there, and I'm just going to do a bit of a rock and roll to make sure I get that. So we've got Depheme. Ooh, I like it, but it might be too light, so we might have to go for that ground espresso. As much as I like the hickory smoke, I think the ground espresso is just that little bit crisper and clearer and easier to read. Alright, okay, that it is. So we're now going to stamp this multiple times. Make sure I get that H and hope for the best. Yep, I can live with the grungy marks on there. Ephemera, right. So now we need to stamp off. Make sure we've cleared all that so I don't get ink all over myself. Right, so Dephemer. We take that off. M, and we put our B in. Where did I put the B? There's the B. Dephemerember. And I don't think I left enough space in there. So, that perhaps wasn't your best idea, Paula. Right, so B, are you going to be like the H? Ephemer. Ember. Okay, and then, so now we have our year. I haven't stamped with this before. So maybe we need to, let's try practice on here. Okay, there we go, that's not bad. Yep. So, Dephemerember. $20.23. Now we change this. It's hard to tell if that 2's getting ink on it or not. This is the next one. 2022. Well, that's better. And whoops. No, stay there. Just want to turn you. Press too hard, and I think we'll do this one. $2021. Look at that. Almost like a ball one. Right, I am pleased with that. Definitely like that number stamp. Alright, oops, throwing all the numbers and stamps away, forgot about that. So, put those in there before I lose them completely. Put that there, put those on top. That can go. That can all disappear. We've got enough of you for now. So now we want to trim you down. Don't need you. So I'm going to trim off this. Wow, these really are long, aren't they? 2023. 2022. Right. So that's those done. Now, I quite like the look of this and the concept. So what we need is some cardboard, and I'm sure I've got some in one of my recycled scrap thingies, and then some book paper. Okay, I found some scraps. I thought about this piece of cardstock, but it really wasn't heavy enough. So I've settled on some packaging that I'm going to recycle because it is quite firm, which is good. I don't need too much, and as I'm going to cover them, and even better, they are the perfect length, if I just do, because I'm just going to do a dangle at the top. An eyelet, it'll have to be a small eyelet, but that's okay. So, and then I've pulled up some scraps of dictionary pages, which I'd like to use, but they haven't got the text all the way over. I've got some coffee dyed paper scraps, and then some book pages. So we will see how they all go. Now I'm just going to open up those in there so I don't lose them. Alright, so that's there. Then we've got that one. Stamp, put you out of the way too. Now, because we want to bring up the Moxy guillotine. Now, so these are, so if I'm just looking at this, put that down again. So I reckon if I cut it at 1/2 inch, that would give me just quite a nice little edge around there. So we want 3 of these at 1/2 inch, which may be easier said than done. So how do we cut 1/2 inch on here? We don't. No, we're not going to cut on there. So we're going to have to do it the old-fashioned way with a ruler. Right. So we want 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I'm not sure what I'm putting on the 4th one, but I'll cut it while I'm at it so that they're all done. One, one, two, 3, and 4. I hope you're counting along with me. Yep. This is the perfectionist in me doing these, making sure I get them absolutely correct. Now, going to use these. Hopefully they'll give me a nice straight cut. One. I like these long blades. But I like the tonic scissors even more because they will cut through anything. The only problem is with these ones is that it's like at full, my hand is just so not big enough for them. Right. Hopefully that is straight enough. Yep, not too bad. Alright, that can go out of the way. So now we can look at book. So we've got enough to wrap around there. Oh, yep, that'll go around. So we can do 4 out of that because I've got a second strip. So we've got, that would be that over the top. That looks quite good. Alright, not those ones. We want to glue over these. Now, alright, definitely that side out. Now, I don't need the big scissors for this, so we can probably, oh, that is just gonna, I'm gonna waste paper doing that. So on there, and there, that's one. And yes, I know there was probably an easier way of doing that, but hindsight is 2020. Right, so that side, that side, that side, that side. Right. I'm going to use this glue here because it's an acetate based one and doesn't warp the paper, won't warp paper. So when it comes out, there we go. So use that to sign that glue to glue this down. There we go, kind of central. So that's one. Now, so we are going to do the long ends first. On one side, and I'm going to kind of roll it up against the edge of the card, same as I would if it was wrapping the cover on a journal. And do the same on this one. Make sure it hasn't gone over the edge. And wrap that over. Good. Now I'm going to do all of them to this level first before I put the ends over. And the thing I want to do first is just, I'm just going to use my bone folder for this. I just want to make sure it's tucked in nicely into the end where I'm going to fold. Just makes it nice and crisp. Alright, so that's those done. And that's back away, and now we are getting to this glue before it drips out completely. And now that folds over really nicely. And this glue I like because if you do get any excess kind of coming out, then you are able to just rub it off, and it kind of forms these little like glue balls. Thing with flattening the ends like we did is we've now got little bits sticking out on either end. So do I want to try and trim those down? Yes, I do, because I'm a perfectionist like that, and it will just annoy me. That has satisfied that perfectionism. Okay, so now we need to put these on, and we're going to glue them down to one end, but I think what we need to do is ink them a little. Now I'm just going to use this ground espresso because that's what I used for the stamping, and for a change I'm just going to try and not get ink everywhere when I'm doing my edging on my inking around the edges. I have a tendency to ink more. Right, now move you out the way again. So now we have, I don't think they really make any difference, but that's the most plain Jane one. Right, a little bit extra glue on there, which means a lot bit on my fingers. Alright, so now we're putting this towards this far end, because we are going to put an eyelet in the other end. I'd prefer that you not fly into my face, Mr. Moth. Don't mind you visiting, but just be careful because you could end up as a specimen card. Okay, I've found some scraps. I thought about this piece of Okay, so I've got some eyelets, got some bulb pins, and I've got my crocodile. But before we do that, just because I think it's going to be easier to do this now rather than after I've got the eyelet in, I'm just going to ink around the edge of this tea dyed paper as well. And I'll just do that side, I think. I want to get these done and onto the journals, and then I think that's all I need to do for the actual journals. Right, so that can go over there. So now do this one first. So we want that small hole. So just eyeballing it. In terms of where it's going. It's 4 little wee cutouts. Now we're going to push them all in, and I need to make sure that I've got it the right way round, my bits and pieces. Right, for that, by that I mean these, and no they're not, so flip that down, turn it around and back up, which means I also need to do this one. Right, now put that in there and press one. Nice. Know exactly where to find it next time I need it. Alright, so we have 4, 22, 23, 21, right. Here are my 4 journals. So we have number 1 in there, and hopefully my ball pin is big enough. We will make it big enough. Yep, that looks pretty cool. Now can I stand them all up? Look at those. Alright, thank you for joining me for today's little wee tutorial and finishing on these ephemera journals. I will see you for the next video.